So today I'm finishing planting the sweet potatoes, and this has ended up being the sweet potato bed. I was able to fit more in here than I figured, with the Covington sweet potatoes and the Beauregard sweet potatoes. So I'm gonna finish doing that bed, and then I'm actually gonna start planting some seeds today. I've got some squash plants I'm gonna put in, some beans, and hopefully corn and sunflowers. The goal today is seeds, that's my goal. So we'll see how far I get. I spent most of the day yesterday amending beds and getting them ready for plants. And today I really just want to work on seeds, because seeds have so much more potential to grow and be strong despite the plants and the weeds that may be growing around them. So I am going to dig up the weeds in the areas I'm planting the seeds, but I am not as concerned about that as I am trying to get these beds amended before I put these new baby seedlings in them. So let's finish up these sweet potatoes and keep moving forward. Thank you. So I finished the sweet potatoes. I should have counted how many slips. I didn't think about that. I'll have to come back through and count how many I planted. That's a pretty good size potato bed, sweet potato bed. I probably planted them a little too close, but that's okay. I gave them at least, most of them have at least, what am I trying to say? 1 square foot per plant. And I'm pretty sure that's what I read is good for sweet potatoes. They're growing underground. They're gonna go clump together and the vines are gonna be beautiful. So I'm not too worried about it. I was gifted 3 acorn squash plants yesterday from a friend. I think these are my harvest acorn squashes that she actually borrowed from me. So that's kind of funny. But I decided to go ahead and put those in the ground right now. I have them next to my onions and kind of to the left of the potatoes. And something I have been bad about doing in the past, but I actually did just now, was to make a mound to plant your vining plants in. These will not be growing on a trellis unless I'm able to get a trellis in here, which I might do that, like a cattle panel for them to trellis up on. But they can also vine through the garlic and the onions and vine over here with the sweet potatoes, and that won't be a problem. But I wanted to get those in the ground today to give them a really good head start. And they've got lots of room to grow over here. So let me kind of show you what I mean by mounding. I have mounded up the dirt around each of these plants like so, and then I've made a little like moat around the bottom of it to catch the water. So because these plants need a lot of hydration and water, and I've tried to pack the soil as best I can around this plant so that when I water it, it's not going to wash all the dirt down from around the root of the plants. In fact, this one probably needs a little bit more dirt up by its stem here, even if I cover up a leaf. Make sure it's really compact. And when you water these initially, before the roots get established, you might want to just water mostly around the moat area and a little bit up here, because their roots are not that established. So if you water this far down, it's not necessarily going to make it all the way up, but you are giving moisture to the soil around it, and then just giving like a cup or 2 of water per day for this plant until its roots get established, which will happen pretty quick. I just wanted to show you when they talk about mounding your cucumber plants or mounding your squash plants, this is what they're talking about, to literally raise them above the ground and mound the dirt up around them. Next plan is to plant sunflowers all along this north side of my garden to provide a wall of color and shade and beauty, obviously, because this is what stares at my house over there. And since it's on the north side, it won't shade the plants that I'm growing in here, which will need lots of sun. This will all be my peppers and my tomatoes in here, and my squash and my cucumbers. I actually am going to put my cucumbers over in that garden along the north wall with the potatoes and the cabbages, because they grow well over there, and they grow well with beans. So I'm going to plant my pole beans on that fence line, and I'm going to put the cucumbers at the base of them. That is my plan. And then bush beans, I may or may not interplant with the potatoes over there. Since the potatoes grow down, the bush beans will grow up. I haven't quite decided yet, but my plan right now is to get beans and cucumbers in the ground and sunflowers in the ground and see where we go from there. I also have this bed over here that I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna put zucchini in or if I'm gonna leave that open for tomatoes. I haven't quite decided yet. So these are the sunflower varieties I had this year. Most of these actually were gifted to me, which is super sweet. And I have another one. I think I actually have more in my container, but I've got Mammoth Sunflowers, which are like the 12 feet ones. How tall do they get? Yeah, 7 to 12 feet. 2 packs of those. I have these giant gray stripe sunflowers, which get to, let's see, 8 feet tall. I have a fire catcher, which is 4 to 5 feet in height. And then I have this double sunking sunflower. These are a lot like the teddy bear sunflowers I've grown in the past that I love. And these, does it say how tall these get? Ah, that's not helpful. These I think are probably around 6 feet if they're similar to the ones I've grown in the past. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to put the mammoth ones for sure in the corners of every garden bed, but along the north wall. And then in front of those, I'll put the shorter ones. So we have kind of this graduating height. And then in front of the shorter ones, I'm probably going to plant something like zinnias or cosmos, just to continue with that coloration across the north side of each garden bed. And I think that will be really beautiful. This queen lime, I really like these queen, it's like a collection. I think they're called the queen lime collection. This is just the queen lime. I also have the queen lime blush, which is really pretty. And then giant African daisies, of course. I've got these growing inside the gazania, which I think is going to be really pretty. These get to about 1.5 feet, so these are the smaller variety. Shasta daisy, Alaska and Becky are my favorite varieties of Shasta daisies. Forget-me-nots, which I'm just going to plant those right into the ground. I've got different kinds of cosmos. I think these are the white ones. Here's a seashell blend, which is my favorite, with those really pretty pink colors. Bachelor buttons, of course. I've got the regular variety, and then I also have this dark variety that I'm really excited about. I've got some hollyhocks growing inside. Again, this darker color. I'm going to try to do something with the dark and the champagne color flowers. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it and how I'm going to do it, but that's kind of a thought, as I wanted to have a garden with these dark purples and these light champagne color flowers, maybe on the front side of my garden that faces the house. And then some other zinnias I've got are these Lilliput, which are a little bit smaller, and I'm pretty sure I have another variety too. Oh, here's my other sunflowers. This is called the strawberry, the chocolate cherry sunflower that I'm going to put probably on the west side of either this garden or the other garden. And those should be really pretty. Just for the heck of it, I went ahead and planted some more of these just in case these other acorn squash are not actually this variety. It's such a pretty variety. So I did do 2 more hills of this winter squash. It's festival acorn squash. I was thinking it was harvest. So I went ahead and planted those. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hills of acorn squash. I think what I'm gonna do, just to kind of keep things organized, is plant most of my squash over here. So I'm gonna do the acorn squash, and I'll probably do some butternut or honeyboat squash. And I think I'll keep the tomatoes and peppers behind me here. I may or may not trellis the squash, just depending on the resources I can come and get, which would be cattle panels. That would be the best thing to grow, bigger type items on, and that's definitely what I'll be growing my tomatoes on. And I might just grow my tomatoes on this fence right over here. because it's not going to shade anything. I'm going to have some beans growing, but the tomatoes and the beans are not going to like counteract each other. So I may utilize part of this fence over here for tomatoes. Yes, I may lose some to animals that come up on the other side, but I don't know. I have to think about it. I'm considering that, or maybe using that for peppers since they're smaller, and then doing the tomatoes in here with the squash. So this is going to be, in my mind, it's going to be a squash, tomato, pepper garden with other things kind of interplanted like marigolds, nasturtiums, maybe bush beans. And then over there, I'll have majority of my beans, cabbages, kales, lettuces. I may plant some lettuces in here around the base of the plants. Cucumbers. I think I'll do a majority of my cucumbers over there. I may do some cucumbers over here. So I think what I'm going to do today is go in and kind of draw this out just to make sure I'm not forgetting something. But that's looking like what this is going to manifest into. I definitely want to take advantage of the space I have and grow some more winter squash. So to really do that, it would make the most sense to put them on a trellis. So I think I'm going to invest in some more cattle panels. The garden is 30 feet wide, so that would be 2 cattle panels, you know, one here, one 16-foot, what here, a 16-foot one there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 cattle panels. That's $100. I can do that, you know. And I already have 4. So I think that's what I'm going to do. That would make the most sense. It'll give me nice, neat rows. It'll allow things to grow up, so I have space on the ground for smaller plants like lettuces, kales, Swiss chard, flowers, things like that. So I think that's what we're working for right now. I'm going to go in and take a break, say hello to the baby girl. Then my plan this afternoon is come out and I think I'm going to put some summer squash right here because I really want to get that going so that I have some summer squash in the next 40 days or so. That's what I'm going to do. It is no joke hot out here. It's okay though. I like to sweat. I've moved on to the squash garden and I'm deciding how I'm going to do this. I think this is about an 8 or a 10-foot bed, and you can actually plant like summer squash 1 to 2 feet apart. And as in my experience, they always get much bigger than you expect and overgrown. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 or 4, I think 3, and I'll show you why, of each variety in this bed in sort of a chevron pattern. Well, let me just show you. So this is what I'm doing, part of what I'm doing this year. I have come to just love patty pan squash. It is my absolute favorite. Yellow squash, it's okay. I have some. I'll probably make it and sell it. I do like zucchini, so I've got some of that. But like patty pan squash is my favorite. So I've got 5 varieties here. And I think what I'm going to do is plant it like this. 1 here, 1 here, 1 in the middle of that variety. 1 here, 1 here, 1 in the middle of that variety. And so on and so forth down the bed. So that they're organized by variety in this way, not this way. And I should be able to get 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3 and space them out pretty evenly. It's going to be plenty of squash. Once I have the beds established, I might do another planting kind of interspersed in some other areas. But right now I just want to get these going and make sure I have room for all the other things I want to plant. So when I say chevron, you'll see what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All the way down. And then that'll plant them at least 1 to 2 feet apart, almost square foot all the way down the bed. And I'm going to mound these like I did the acorn squash over there. So we have the Gerber Englisher custard. Then the Benning's green tent scallop. Then the Rondinis. Then the mix by Botanical Scallop Blend. Then the Patessian Panache Verte Bank. And I've planted quite a few of these Romanescos for their squash blossoms in particular. go inside and clean up for the day. I am a mess. Let me show you what I did. This is also for me, so I can remember what I've planted, what and where. I took care of a lot of cucumbers and sunflowers today. I feel really good about what I got done. So this is my west garden on the north fence line. I planted from here to here, here to here, silver slicer cucumbers, which are supposed to be an amazing cucumber that grow no matter how hot it gets. It's just supposed to be a really hardy cucumber and a great flavor. And even if it gets big, like overgrown, has a melony type flavor to it. Melon-y type flavor to it. It's supposed to be really good. So I planted those here and here, about I would say 2 to 3 feet apart, because they're going to be vining up. I'm not too worried about spacing because they're not going to be going this way. They'll be vining up. And just to make sure I get them if some don't germinate. And then about every 2 feet between that, I did a Mammoth Sunflower. So it'll be extra, something extra for it to vine and grab a hold of. And then from here to here, which is probably almost 15 feet, I want to say, I did Armenian white cucumbers, which I love. Do I have a picture of it? Yes, Armenian whites. They are actually a melon, but they grow like a cucumber. They're huge. Armenian yard long cucumber. These I really, really, really love. They have such a refreshing flavor. So I did about the same here. I did every about 18 inches. Well, what I probably did was every 3 feet. So I do cucumber, sunflower, cucumber, sunflower, cucumber, sunflower. And then on that last wall over there, I'll do my pickling cucumbers, and I'll probably do some more of the pickling cucumbers over there. I'm gonna do more cucumbers on that north wall over there. So I wanna have lots of cucumbers. If I don't eat them, I'll sell them at the market. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And my cabbages are looking really good. Really excited about that. They're all looking swell. So are my, oh yeah, these are all my cabbages. Yep. And my Brussels sprouts are looking good. More Brussels sprouts over here. And I'm excited to report that almost all of my potatoes have come in. I was super worried that they wouldn't, but I am seeing sprouts all down the row, in every row except for this last one, which was the last one that I planted. And I am seeing growth here too. So it just takes patience, And I can't remember if I showed you in my other video, but the blue potatoes are so pretty, the purple ones. Look at these leaves. They're such a dark blue purple. I just love that. So pretty. There's another one coming in right there. I've got to plant this row right here. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to put there. I got to think about it. But anyway, West Garden is almost completely planted, minus 2 beds. That's a wrap, my friends. It looks like it's going to rain. I got to clean up and taking food to a friend tonight who had a baby. So we got things to do. I could be out here all day, but life calls, duty calls. And I will see you in the next video.